Welcome to Sravz Technical Series. In today's session, we'll go through Angular project discussion. If you recall from our previous sessions, we have covered a lot of C++ code, and we did some Golang and Airflow Dask-based training videos. And in the C++ discussion, at some point, we have developed the Boost Beast REST API server, and then we were serving JSON files with stock code statistics over the Boost Beast REST API HTTP server. So I'll quickly demo that one. So we have this server running in the background. So when I send a request, I get the statistics for a ticker. For example, in this case for Google, as of 2023 608, these are the various statistics like annual return, annual volatility, etc. So we have this REST API running in production right now, but we don't have a UI to display this. So for that, we are going to use Angular-based UI. Sravz already has an Angular-based UI deployed to production. So this is the Angular-based UI. So at some point, we are going to add the response from that REST API in one of these screens. For example, in the historical section, if we see, we display the charts for various symbols, and we also display the images. So we'll add another tab here to display those codes, so that way we get a complete picture for the symbols. For example, Accenture and AppV, these are the various volumetric volume and last traded adjusted close values. So along with this information, we'll just add another screen where we're going to show those code statistics, so that way we can get a more granular picture about the stock performance. So today, instead of so before we even do that, we encountered an issue where the Angular app we had was based on Angular 14, and right now we have Angular 16 as the latest version. So in this video, we'll first upgrade the Angular app from V14 to V15, which is mentioned here. And in the next session, we'll add a screen to display the statistics in the UI. The source code for this is proprietary, so if you are interested, I can provide you the code as for personal and academic use. Please use the contact us page. Sravz Angular UI uses Infragistics UI components. So I have the link for the Infragistics here. So Infragistics provides plenty of UI components. We use these. So they have provided an upgrade guide on how to upgrade their components from V14 to V15. So we'll follow that, and in that process, we'll update the whole Angular application from version 14 to version 15. So the steps are provided by them in this at this link. For example, we had the V14. We had V14. Today we'll upgrade to version 15. So I followed some of these steps, and then there were some manual steps I had to do. So I'll discuss that in the video. So we'll go back to the page where the Git diff page, or else we can just switch back to the screen here to the documentation page. So this is the source code link, and these are the commands I had to run to upgrade the application from V14 to V15. So I put the Angular version as 15, and then I deleted the existing node modules, and then I did an ng update. Ng update will show which all packages have to be updated, but it doesn't update them all. So it just displays in the screen what all packages are to be updated. Then we update one package at a time. So in this case, I first update the Infragistics Ignite UI Angular package to the version 15 with a force command, or else it wouldn't update. So after that, I updated the Angular core, then updated the Angular CLI, and then upgraded the chart modules. So after doing these commands, this is the latest package.json file. So if you look here, the packages are all V15. Angular common is V15. Angular compiler V15, core is V15, version 15.2.9. So this is the latest major 15 version. And then even the Ignite UI Angular charts are updated. So I'll switch back to the Visual Studio Code, and I'll show you the git diff of the files that were updated. So we'll go to the work in progress commit. So these are all the changes that were made. So I'll open up the package.json first. So the version was 14, now it is 15. Likewise, all the 14 versions are updated to 15. Even Ignite UI Angular was 14, it's updated to 15. And then it has updated the mini rest from 4 to 7. Then these are all development dependencies updated to 15. And the TypeScript was updated from less than 4.8, which was at version 14, to 4.9.5. So these are the major updates to package.json. Then in angular.json, we had to add the style preprocessor options. So with this, when we use scss in our as a style sheet, the preprocessor will look for node modules for imports. So this was added. And then tspec.json, tsconfig.json, this is used for test files. The target is removed, ES200. So default target for transpilation is ES5. So ES5 is the most stable version. So ng update removed that. Then these targets. So in angular.json, we included node modules. So because of that, we don't have to include tilde here. So if we remove tilde, then scss will look for this directory in the node modules, and it will automatically import the style. So that is the change that was made to the style sheet. And these are a bunch of comments that were removed. So another change that was recommended by Infragistics was to remove the grays. Themes, if you go to themes, I think instead of the grays input parameters has been renamed to gray. So this is from 14 to 15, grays to gray. So for some reason, ng update didn't make that change, so I had to make that change manually. So wherever there were grays, I updated to gray. So that is the change in most of the scss files. So it should be the same change in this file too. I picked one randomly. Yeah, grays have been renamed to gray. So that's the change. That's grays to gray had to be done manually for some reason. It didn't work through ng update. Then one more manual change that was required was to was with the grid. So in the UI, there are certain locations where we do we select we auto-populate the grid based on other grid selections. So example, in the portfolio screen, if you look here, when we create a portfolio, we select bunch of tickers, and on selection, we populate those selected symbols here in the select to create a portfolio as a selected portfolio assets. So when we did that, the before in Angular 14, the handle row selection was sending only the primary key of that grid. But now, instead of the primary key, it sends the whole row. So instead of referring it as an element, now we have to specify the field within that row we need to compare with. So in our case, primary ID is Sravz ID, so I had to add that key. So this is the other change that was required. So after this change, everything was migrated to Angular 15. Now the staging server is at Angular 15. Soon we'll deploy this to production. So with that, I'll conclude today's session. For the source code, you could contact me, and yeah, I just put the highlighted source code here. If you need that Angular code, then please contact me or ping me in the YouTube channel. With that, I conclude today's session. Thank you for watching.